But why, some say, the moon? Why choose this as our goal? And they may well ask, why climb the highest mountain? Why 35 years ago, fly the Atlantic? Why does Wright play Texas? We choose to go to the moon. We choose to go to the moon in this decade and do the other thing, not because they are easy, but because they are hard.
Welcome once again to the Other Things podcast, where we talk about all things space, science, all things games, and all those other things. I'm Sam.
I'm Brock.
There's Brock right there. And we have a lot of exciting news coming today. Mainly
of things to talk about.
Lots of Star Wars, lots of other things that I'm really excited about. But we'll get started with the Star Wars.
Let's go ahead and talk about the Star Wars International trailer and new TV spots that they've
Absolutely.
added. So this trailer kind of came out of nowhere. Nobody really knew that it was coming. But it's a trailer for the international community.
Yes.
So, we've gotten all the trailers that we have here. And people in other countries have gotten translated versions of that. But this was the first international, everybody gets the same type deal. And I didn't know what to expect when I first watched it, but they added a lot.
They
showed
did.
things that they hadn't showed yet, like Kylo Ren facing off with Daisy.
Yes.
I
I didn't realize that was like a charging. Initially, we saw her firing a blaster at someone.
Right.
And then it turned out to be like a full-on, he's going to kill her right in front of her thing.
Yeah.
So it'll be really interesting to see how really she survives that.
Yeah, I really liked the
TV
TV spots myself because they highlighted a lot of Han Solo in the TV spots. He had a lot more lines, a lot more shots of him like kind of interacting with the rebels and him and Leia together. So Han's like my favorite character ever, so I liked to see that.
I like the whole Harrison Ford dynamic right now because he's always had this love-hate relationship with Han Solo. I feel like he's liked Indiana Jones and a lot of the other characters that he's played a lot better than Han Solo, but now here he is back, and he's like all in this thing.
Yeah.
So it's like, does he really hate Han Solo as much as he leads off? I'm not so sure.
Yeah, but the international trailer had some great sequences of the one that struck me the most was, have you ever seen Black Hawk Down?
I have.
Okay. The shot of them flying over the desert with the helicopters, they did that but with TIE fighters.
That was a great scene.
And it was like a shot for shot remake of that particular shot, and I was like, that's pretty cool.
I saw an article.
Cinematography-wise.
I saw an article, and now I wished that I brought it on here. It was one of those they did the math type moments where they, had what is known as the size of a TIE fighter. I think I'm not even going to guess. We'll say 10 meters wide. And they said that they can, from that, extrapolate how far away each TIE fighter is from that scene.
Okay.
And they did the math, and they had this 3D render of how far each one was. You could zoom in and go to each TIE fighter. It was just
that's
kind
some
of
mathematician who really likes Star Wars being bored at work. That's
right.
what that is.
It just shows what the fans are willing to do. But that scene, at least artistically, is just showing that J.J. Abrams is taking this very seriously, because obviously Black Hawk Down is a very serious movie.
Mm-hmm.
And Star Wars isn't necessarily considered that
right
on that level of seriousness.
Although it should be. It deals with big political issues and
it really
corruption does. And one thing that people have been talking about because of the new trailer is that a lot of people speculated that Kylo Ren was Luke, directly Luke, old Luke.
I think this trailer really just kind of knocked that out. Well,
he can't be, because they show a shot of Kylo Ren with his mask off from behind, and it's obviously not Luke. It's obviously a very young guy.
Now,
my tinfoil hat theory still stands. I still think he's a clone of Luke.
So?
An evil clone of Luke. It's quite possible. That would explain kind of like the reverence that he gives to Darth Vader, because if he's a clone of Luke, then Darth Vader is technically his father.
I could see that.
And like the whole
All
"I'm
right.
going to finish what you started" thing, that I could see that being a
what
thing.
you started. That's
So,
my best Kylo Ren.
I don't know. It's hard to tell, but he's definitely not Luke. And I think that we already kind of knew that from the set pictures that they released of Luke, like in the Jedi Master looking robes, in whatever enclave that they have going on there. But I don't know. We are like less than 30 days away.
Today's the 17th. We're
Yeah,
recording today on the 17th.
Right.
And this is also coming out later this afternoon today on the 17th.
So
we are
month
1
away.
month 1 month away. I am going to see it on December 17th.
Me too.
So
we'll have to do like a report afterwards.
Absolutely, on the 18th, which I think is a Friday. So
where are you going to see it?
I am seeing it at. We talked about this in an earlier podcast, but I am still proud to tell you that I am seeing it at the Menominee Falls.
Yeah, that's right.
Theater.
I'm going to the Majestic.
I get to sit in the Dream Lounger seats with the ones that Brian exclaimed, "I hate it," in the commercial.
Yeah.
I love it. Love that commercial.
Yeah, I'm going to the Majestic, which I love because it's got a lot of nice amenities there, but it's so crowded every time. That's why I'm not going to the first showing. I'm going to like the third showing. So hopefully it'll be less crowded by that point.
There was a while
they're not letting
there.
me bring my lightsaber in.
What? Not even like a. Do you have like the
No,
LED
and like no
one, or
fake
just-
blasters or anything.
Oh, that's kind of.
Because they
kinda
might be
stretching
weapons.
it too far. Well,
like,
they're called toys in that case.
Lightsaber, come on.
Anyway, I'm getting a T-shirt that says Star Wars #1 fan with the picture of the Enterprise on it.
I'm going to wear my Chewbacca sweatshirt, I think.
I am very excited to wear that T-shirt to the Star Wars premiere, even though I know very well the difference.
Yeah, let's both try to
anyway.
take some pictures and stuff of like the lines in the crowd too, if we can, because that's just going to be crazy.
That's
It's
a
gonna
good
be
idea.
So many people.
I'll take a picture of me in the Dream Lounger seats.
Yeah,
for
we'll
you.
do some selfies.
Yeah, we'll have to
Star
share
Wars
those.
fans. Yeah.
All right, back to the trailer.
Yeah.
Two things that I want to say about that. One, in the international trailer, there's a whole lot of BB-8.
Mm-hmm.
What do you have to make about that?
Well, droids have always been a central function of the Star Wars universe for storytelling purposes.
That's true.
George Lucas relied on R2-D2. I have a tattoo of R2-D2 because he's my favorite droid.
I can make him move.
But R2-D2 is, other than C-3PO, is the only constant character throughout all 6 Star Wars films. So
Obi-Wan also.
he is pretty much the only person who knows what's going on. He does have memory wipes that happen, but
R2 hasn't had any memory wipes.
you're right.
C-3PO has.
But
has
R2
not.
technically is the only person who knows everything that's going on, which to me is kind of crazy because...
And remember, R2 was there when Anakin, as he turned, and as he went to Mustafar to kill everyone as he was becoming Darth Vader.
Yeah, and he went with Padme
He witnessed
instead.
it.
But I think that it's very interesting that he can't talk like C-3PO can.
He don't
can
talk like you and me
communicate,
do.
But you need a computer interface to kind of figure out what he's saying for sure. People who have are his master or have been around him for a long time, like Luke or Han, can kind of tell what he's saying by the way that he makes his sounds. So affirmative sounds, negative sounds, if he's happy or sad. But if he could actually talk like C-3PO, he could tell everybody what was going on and exactly what was going to happen.
Absolutely.
Which would be nice. So I think that BB-8 is just like the new generation version of R2-D2.
How do you feel?
And R2 was in that set picture that we were just talking about with Luke, right? Where he's in the Jedi robes. He's got his hand on
R2
on
is
R2?
Yes, that is the one where
So I think
Luke's
that R2
hand
is
reaching out to touch him. Yeah.
is just going to stay with Luke. And since Luke is old, I don't know if he's going to die in this picture. Hate to bring that up. But I think that...
if he does, he'll come back as Force Ghost Luke, I'm sure.
Definitely. I think that BB-8 is going to be the new, crew. It's going to be their astromech droid. I don't really know what kind of droid he is, though.
I think
because
he's
an
just another
astromech droid like
astromech
R2
droid.
is,
Just a newer version.
Right, because like R4 and R5, like Obi-Wan's droid, I can't remember the designation.
R4.
Oh, is it R4? Those are all astromech droids, and those are specifically designed to help in the flight of StarCraft. So
BB-8 is also in a X-wing.
Right, you are right.
In the trailer. So I think he's just the same thing. It's just a newer,
or maybe he's like an
version.
astromech droid that got modified by Daisy because she didn't have the appropriate parts. So she was like, "Well, I'm just gonna make it into I'm just gonna make it work," and just came up with that spherical design. Totally possible.
All right. Second observation, not necessarily from the trailer, but just in general about Star Wars, is a bit of a clarification on evil Luke that we got from, I believe, J.J. Abrams himself.
Mm-hmm.
That there is an Imperial propaganda machine that's telling their stormtroopers about the evil Rebel Alliance and the evil Luke Skywalker who killed their wonderful and benevolent empire. What do you think of that?
Well, it's just like you remember when the Jedi were killed off Order 66, everybody said, "Whoa, the Jedi Council betrayed the Senate and tried to take over." You know, it's just disinformation.
Right.
That's why, okay, you just came up with this example of something which is a perfect example of disinformation in a political system. This is why Star Wars should be a serious thing, is because this is how you teach people how disinformation works. Is that you show them, hey, this central government person made up a fake narrative in order to brainwash or, encourage their troops to fight against these people that they might not necessarily do if they knew the whole story. So, I don't know. When people say that Star Wars isn't a serious thing, that it's just a kid thing, it pisses me off. Because there's so many complex political ideas that you can learn from Star Wars. The entire, Palpatine being elected emergency powers during a time of war, that is the Roman Senate electing emergency powers to Julius Caesar.
Oh, yeah.
To,
absolutely,
to fight the war. That's exactly what it is. And so it explains this historical event and how it came to be through this mirror or perspective lens of Star Wars. And it just allows you to see an example of it that's not, actual history textbooks. So, I don't know. For me, everything Star Wars, you can teach anything like that through the lens of Star Wars. And it helps me understand it because I'm a giant Star Wars nerd. But it irks me when people say that it's just a kid's story. Because there's lots of high-level, complex thinking going on in a lot of this stuff. Intergalactic politics. It's nuts.
Absolutely. Brock, tell us what's coming up.
All right, next we have Cars That Drive Themselves.
The Other Things podcast is produced at the OpenBox Strategies Studios in Brookfield, Wisconsin. OpenBox Strategies is a website design, video production, and online marketing firm that delivers fixed fee-based creative projects and never for an hourly fee. Jumpstart your marketing today. Call 262-825-6993 or visit openboxstrategies.com.
Awesome.
All right.
Now time for all things tech.
I do. All things tech. I got the lead here. Two things in tech today.
Okay.
First we're going to go with is Ford automation.
Okay.
Now, I did some reading about this the other day.
Cars.
Self-driving cars. So,
Scary.
This article was really informative.
Looking back to Star Wars, autopilot. Go on.
Yes. Right now, they're saying that our automated cars, if you have, do you have cruise control in your car?
Me?
Yes.
Actually, I don't.
You don't? Okay,
No,
I do.
It's an old car.
I have a newer car that has, cruise control.
Mm-hmm.
Some.
Do you have auto detection
control.
for lane saving and stuff like that?
I don't.
Okay.
Excuse me. We'll have to edit that out. No, we're not. Now I just lost my train of thought.
You're talking about your car and cruise control?
Yes, I do. That would be considered a level 2 automation.
Okay.
Where your car can handle some things, like it can regulate one single speed. You can hit a button, it'll go faster. You can hit another button, it'll go slower. But you still have to steer. You still have to be alert. And you can, turn it off
Yeah.
You know,
It's not like autopilot on a plane where you just
Right.
hit a button and
and same thing with traction control, where the computer will take over your wheels spinning and give it power to a certain tire or another based on which one has the most traction. Now Ford, for the most part, they're stuck at level 2. That's
Right.
where most cars are right now.
except for like the Google and the Teslas and stuff like
Right.
that.
There are cars that are level 3,
Mm-hmm.
where some of them will even stop. Some of them will.
Oh, there's like BMW, I think, and a couple of those other high-end companies have that. Like if somebody's in your blind spot and you try to change lanes, it'll take you back where you were. That kind of thing.
A lot of that. Ford even has the. I don't know what they would consider that. They never mentioned it in the article. They have the automatic parallel park
Okay. Yeah.
thing. Excuse me. Where that would be a complete automation thing.
Right.
However, Ford says they're going to skip phase 3 and go right to phase 4, which is considered full automation.
Like iRobot style. You seen that movie with Will?
I
Will
think
Smith?
so.
Where where nobody drives, you just get your car and you hit a button.
But you can still take over manually.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. And he does in the movie. He takes over manually.
Yes, and he does. And I remember that movie. The car started. Oh, you're taking over. That would be unsafe.
Yeah.
This
Yeah.
would be
They're like,
unsafe.
whoa, whoa, whoa! You were driving manually. Like that
Right.
was a big deal.
And to us, it's like, well, yeah, of course I was. Anyway, but they were going ridiculously fast too.
So they're gonna go straight to step 4 and go for
They're going to
full
go
automation.
straight to step 4, which is full, I guess, toggleable automation.
Okay. So
they have like, I guess, radars and radios installed in the car, and
they got to have some
so many other
high-end
things. But
sensors.
like, there are so many times when I'm driving, and for instance, I'm driving in the center lane. I have a semi to my right. I have a semi to my left. How can the radio signals get through the semi and detect anything that's beyond them
Yeah.
instead of just boom right through?
Yeah. The
I
thing
don't
is
see how
that,
it'll work.
that like Tesla already has somewhat of what you're talking
Oh,
about.
they do, yeah.
But it's so expensive to put it into just one car.
Right.
So as soon as the technology gets better and cheaper or more efficient to put into cars, then the rest of us will start getting it.
I see the only way of it working is if every car
I was just going to say that.
has the system and can communicate with.
All it takes is somebody like
the
me with
other
an
cars.
80s Volkswagen stick shift to
Right.
ruin the auto driver's
Right,
day.
and that's it. As soon as you have one car out there that doesn't have this automation, that's it.
Yeah, and I hate to bring this back to Star Wars, but in Coruscant, when you see the flying like highways, you know what I'm talking about, where it's
Yes.
multi-level, the
Yes.
only way you could ever do something like that is if it was completely automated. Because
Could have said Back to the Future too.
yeah, Back to the Future too, same thing. If we're ever gonna really have flying cars, we're gonna have to have some type of automated system where you get into a lane, you hit a button, and then you just wait to get there.
Which says
Because
stay here at about this speed.
we cannot trust every American to fly
Or
a car,
no, absolutely not.
especially at fast speeds.
Also, well, again, probably 100 years ago, you would say, "Oh, we can't allow every American to drive a car at 70 miles an hour on the
Right.
highway."
No, I
You're gonna have to
I
get
get you on
professionals
that.
to do that.
But you definitely can't have both at the same time. You can't have cars that are, not autopilot at all, and then cars that can be.
That's true.
Otherwise, maybe these automatic cars are going to have to need like different roads. You
What
know
would
what I mean? Like
happen
a
if-
separate transit system, that's impossible. We couldn't.
Here's another thing: is what would happen with wildlife?
Yeah,
Can it
yeah.
detect,
Deer runs
like
in the front.
if a deer runs in front of the car, or
I had a deer run in
even
front of me
worse,
last
a
night.
person runs in front of the car, how quickly can the car look, identify? Oh, how fast is that thing going? Oh, that thing's going this fast. Oh my, it's gonna, it's
And
gonna run into the car.
I'm not
Which
saying
way
you
can
should
I
ever
do?
be going this fast, but like, what if you were going so fast and something jumped out in front of you that the car could stop you fast enough, but if it stopped you, it would kill the driver. Because that's how
Well,
fast
then
it
it
would need
would.
to stop
I mean,
you.
yeah, that's
Which
another
person
problem.
would it choose?
That's another person.
Would it
That's
choose the
another
driver
problem.
or the person in the front of the car? to save.
And
I
that's
know
another
it's
problem.
a
That's something
complex,
that
high
they'll have
level
to figure
problem.
out, where humans, we can, obviously detect a deer or a person with our eyes and see that, oh my goodness, I won't be able to stop. Can I veer so
know
that I only
plenty of
hurt it,
people who
or
don't do
not
that.
hurt myself, or whatever else?
But I know so many bad drivers, like really bad drivers. Like I would never get into a car with them bad drivers.
Yeah, that's true.
And I don't need somebody like that. Like just like, well, I'm always worried about just having an automatic driving car and being totally fine with it, but somebody else hitting me, not me hitting something else, because that's pretty much impossible with the auto driving car. But somebody else who doesn't know what they're doing hitting me.
That's true. That's true.
And that's like, I don't know.
But anyway,
it's a hard problem, that's for sure.
Ford is taking a really big step into the automation world.
Well, that's cool.
That's really
American
good.
company
I
doing
think
that's
think
awesome.
that them taking the lead on this is being kind of a everyday man, car seller, maker, person.
Like
whatever,
I said, as soon as it becomes
making this
affordable for everyone, then everybody will have it.
That's true. I won't.
No, not for a
Probably
while.
not.
We will not get it for
I
a
like
while.
how I drive.
Yeah.
Moving on. This is kind of a local tech story going on.
Yeah.
The USS Milwaukee will be commissioned this week, actually this coming Saturday.
Newest naval ship in the fleet.
The newest naval ship in the fleet, and the first of its name, the first to hold the name USS Milwaukee. Also, the first name. Okay, here's a complex one. The first ship named after a city,
Named after a city.
being commissioned in its namesake city.
Oh, okay.
Also,
so like
that was
all right.
built in
in that city.
said namesake city's state. It was built up in Marinette.
Okay. That's pretty cool, actually. That's all Wisconsin built, all Wisconsin named.
Absolutely.
That ship, it was a huge project, and I'm sure provided tons of local jobs to local mechanics, fabricators, stuff
especially
like
up in Marinette. They have a very big shipyard up there.
that. We produce a
And
ton of military technologies here in Wisconsin. and
we
do a
have
really good job of
Oshkosh.
it. Oshkosh is huge in that.
Yeah, they make a lot of trucking and stuff like that. Up in Marinette, they make specifically this kind of warship. Now, it's a Freedom class littoral combat ship. Littoral? I don't know.
Lateral.
It's
the
not.
pass
It's an
in football.
I, not an A.
Okay.
I'll put a link on.
Sure.
here. According to JS Online, built in Wisconsin, being commissioned in Milwaukee. Only one Wisconsin crew member.
Is it the captain?
According to
at least?
JS Online, it's not the captain.
Dang it.
Or the whatever they call it, like lieutenant something. I don't know. Now I'm showing.
if
how
you
much I
haven't-
don't know about the military.
If you haven't been online and seen the demo video of the USS Milwaukee, go
Yes.
watch it right now.
Or the Freedom class ship.
Any of the
I
Freedom
believe
class.
this is the third one of its class
because
being
they have
commissioned.
some type of new drive that helps
It
them
is-
go insanely fast.
It is a ship that is not propelled by a propeller.
Okay.
It's like a jet ski. It is a
jet
water
ski.
jet that it shoots water out of its backside and then is propelled forward. The thing goes 45 knots.
45 knots is so fast for
really
a ship this
fast.
big.
Especially for this size.
Why you need to go watch the video is, one, you realize how big the ship is because it shows it next to stuff. So you're like, okay, I get an idea for how big this ship is. And then, two, you see how fast it's moving. And this thing is just blowing through waves in the ocean.
Now,
Being able to move that fast in naval combat must be a huge advantage
yes.
because, I mean, they can outmaneuver everybody right now with that thing.
Absolutely. Now, for now, this ship is docked right now just outside of Veterans Park,
Okay.
downtown.
Yeah, sure.
They have it gated off, so you obviously can't, walk
Yeah.
right up to, I want to touch it, because it is, these things are built with all state-of-the-art, technology
No,
and
I'm sure there's
everything.
classified.
Everything
stuff on
is,
there.
I'm sure, the thing runs like its own military base,
Mm-hmm.
so you obviously can't just walk right up to it and touch it, but certainly head downtown, take a look at this thing.
Yeah.
If you're from Milwaukee, especially from Wisconsin, this is just a great, testament to how awesome our state is.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not
very
only
cool.
that, but it's an awesome piece of technology. So,
Awesome.
It'll be there, I'm sure, until Saturday when it's commissioning services, and then it'll head down to. It'll be stationed in San Diego.
San Diego. Very cool.
According
We'll be
to
doing
JS
some
Online.
domestic defense. I like
Yeah.
that.
All right,
Awesome.
moving on. All things games.
Yeah, that's me.
Brock.
I got some leads. Okay, so gaming news, it's been pretty active for the past couple weeks. There's a lot of big games that have come out. I'm going to save Fallout 4 for my next topic because that's the main topic I want to talk about. Real quick, though, Halo 5. I know we talked about it in our previous podcast. Not a lot of people were happy about it. Storyline was a little weird, but I have had a chance to play it a little bit more, and I would like to change my opinion on Halo 5.
Oh.
I
A
don't like
changing
the
of
story.
opinion.
The story is crap, but the co-op gameplay is really fun. Now,
Well, they have like a whole squad of Spartans now, don't
right,
they?
you remember like ODST and stuff
And
like
Reach.
that, where you're running with a squad and doing that. It's like that, but it's a lot more balanced and it's a lot more fun.
Okay.
So the co-op gameplay, I actually really enjoyed playing with other people online. With a lot of my friends. So that part of the game, amazing. Now, same type of thing, but also made me hate the game a little bit. No split screen. So like me and you
Wait,
growing
what?
up playing console games, Xbox, original Halo, like
How's-
split screen was how we played
How is there
co-op
no?
games.
How is there no split screen?
There's no split screen in the new Halo game.
Is it like Super Smash Brothers where it just zooms
No.
out really far? If you're
No,
far
there
apart?
is no co-op locally. You have to play online.
Oh,
Yeah. Yeah, so that's to me that's the death of the split screen for co-op playing, because Halo was like one of those games that everybody played split screen with your friends on Blood Gulch or playing through the co-op later in the later games. So if even Halo, the new Halo game, doesn't have split screen, no games are going to have split screen that are coming out anymore. Which is sad to me because, like I said, when I was growing up, like we didn't necessarily have Xbox Live right away. And that's how we played games with our friends, is we all went to somebody's house and played Halo on their Xbox.
well, I remember getting the
Or
really
Super Smash
big
Bros. Or-
router with the really long network cables.
Oh,
and
yeah,
4
linking the two Xboxes
Xboxes.
together. System link.
Yeah, and I remember doing that in a hotel for a band trip once.
Yeah. And
We
see,
were-
that kind of...
we had a lot of fun on our band trips. Can't
See-
you tell? We got together and we played Halo.
See, and like that kind of gaming won't exist anymore, really, which is sad to me. But I guess it's an end of an era. But yeah, I'd like to change my opinion on Halo 5. The co-op gameplay that I've played now is very fun. So,
Good.
not a big huge fan of the story. Now moving on to the main story, Fallout 4,
Fallout
that
4.
has gotten released. So first of all, the release at the GameStop in Waukesha, over by where I live, they had a line wrapped around the building a couple times. It was ridiculous for the release. I do not own a next-gen system, so I don't have Fallout 4. I have played it on my friends' systems
They have it on
since it's
PC.
coming out. What was that?
They have it on PC,
They do, but my PC
on
is not
Steam.
that good.
Oh,
Yeah,
well,
my PC is only
okay.
about a year and a half old, but it still can't handle the Fallout 4. Fallout, it's a huge game.
it is huge.
So pros and cons, Fallout 4. Graphics aren't super amazing. That's not something I need to make a game good, though. Play style, pretty awesome. It's like a combination of Fallout 3 and Destiny for their combat system, which is pretty cool. The weapons and the crafting systems, also awesome. You have a dog in the game, which I'm a huge fan of. Love games with dogs. Here's the one thing that kind of threw me for a loop with Fallout. Fallout is typically an RPG, role-playing game. Like in Fallout 3, in the first 10 minutes of the game, you can blow up the biggest city with a nuke if you want. So like you could be good or evil in that game. In Fallout 4, you can't be evil. You are good the entire time. You're kind of portrayed as this hero who's saving the countryside, if you will, the entire time. And there's no choice to like go off on that other end. And I'm not saying like I would be evil in the game right away, but it is cool to see, to have that choice
At
in
least
games.
you have the option.
Exactly. And lots of games do that. And Fallout is one of the games that was known for having those choices, those tough choices that you had to make. And in Fallout 4, there is none. which is kind of weird. Now, you can go about doing the good deeds you're doing, in different ways, but really that role-playing game part of it is kind of missing. So that being said, people are still playing it. People are still loving it. I don't think that it detracts from the game that much, but it is something that I expected from the game that I didn't get. So, I don't know. But overall, really, really fun game to play. So, excuse me. I would recommend it to anybody who wants to go out there and buy it. But like I said, just know that role-playing game aspect isn't there.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And coming up, you have the Final Frontier.
Alrighty, guys. The Other Things podcast is produced by Open Box Strategies in Brookfield, Wisconsin. Open Box Strategies is a website design, video production, and online marketing firm that delivers fixed fee, value-based creative projects, and never for an hourly fee. Jumpstart your marketing today. Call 262-825-6993 or visit openboxstrategies.com. Alrighty, we are heading into all things space. Sam, what have you got for us?
That's me. Well, it's no secret anymore that NASA has turned its attention to Mars.
Yeah.
Mars.
Very much so.
And they're now accepting applications for the next round of astronauts.
Open applications?
Huh? Well, they have requirements.
Okay.
Which neither of us meet.
Damn.
However, you look at that and
are they
like,
physical requirements or education requirements?
It's like you have to be like the top leading scientist in your field, and be like a first-rate Navy pilot and just everything else that's ridiculous. Now, I grew up, in the era of space shuttles and building of the space station, and I'm sure you did too, because we're close to the same age. I would be, if younger me found out that I would not apply to be an astronaut, I'd be like, what are you doing? Especially for Mars.
Yeah. I don't know, man.
Even if it's immediate no, it's like, well, all right, I tried.
I've seen too many sci-fi movies to be the first person to go to another planet. I might go there after other people have gone there a couple times.
It ended up well for Matt Damon.
Yeah, that's one instance. But all I need is for some alien stuff to go on. You know what I mean? Yeah.
What, you think there's aliens on Mars?
No, I don't.
I don't think so either. Maybe bacteria.
But there could be some kind of fungal bacteria that gets into the brain of people and makes them go nuts. I don't know, but.
Well, then we go, all right, well, we're not going back there.
Yeah, I guess that if I went back to elementary school me and was like, hey, so the United States is going to Mars and
it's
we're
open
not
applications and I'm sitting here.
I think that younger me would probably be a little bit disappointed. But I don't know, man.
I remember.
Like, the psychological, trial that you'll have to go through from going to another planet, because they're probably going to have to be put in some type of hibernation or sleep.
I don't know about that,
rough.
But the trip just to get to the moon took 3 months.
Mm-hmm.
And granted, we've gotten a little bit better at propulsion and getting there faster, but 3 months in space is nothing to bat an eye. Or that's just getting there.
Mm-hmm.
So you're talking about 6 months, and then something that's much further away from the Earth than the moon is.
Yeah, I guess I don't think I'm disappointed in not going to Mars. I would be more disappointed if they were sending a mission to a Earth-like planet. You know what I mean?
I think so.
That where something could potentially or we could potentially live there without any type of habitats or anything like that.
Okay.
That would be something where I'd be like, wow, I need to go on this right now.
Mm-hmm. Where you had a destination.
Right. Mars.
You're only going there. You're not coming back.
Right. Mars seems kind of like a scientific exploration, but not like exploring colonization. That's what really interests me for at least trying to find new planets. Is if we could find another planet that we could theoretically live on, or that's what we need, because we're running out of room here.
Well, okay. We'll get into that. But I don't know. NASA accepting applications for. I believe they were starting on the 17th, so that's another thing that's happening today. So I don't know. I know I wouldn't get it. But what would happen if they're like, they get that, this guy is completely underqualified. But let's give it a shot anyway.
Sometimes they do that, though. Sometimes they put one person on the team that doesn't have any qualifications to get their perspective on it.
Would you really want to make it on that team if, you're the guy that's there just out of, let's see how a normal person handles being an astronaut.
True.
That was a great voice for that. I like that.
I suppose the only way you could do it without being like a super scientist or like a crazy naval pilot is be like a journalist.
A journalist?
Because having an embedded journalist in that on that mission would be crazy good for publicity.
Here we go. The Other Things podcast from space.
They're reporting live from Mars.
All things space. That's one of our things.
Yeah. So I don't know.
And science. We got science too, but we haven't found any science things in a couple weeks.
Yeah. So I'm not sure. I don't think I want to be the first person to go to any planet.
I would.
Okay. I respect that.
I would.
It's
it's just, yeah.
I'm too scared, man.
The amount of time that would be needed, even if everything went well.
You would have to devote your entire life to it.
Oh, absolutely, and it would be. And I like pizza a little too much to get into the.
Yeah,
great
you have to be able
shape.
to take some serious G's of force.
Oh, absolutely.
To be in, and I don't.
You said G'sel force.
G's, that's the measurement for force.
Are you sure you just said G'sel?
No, I said G's, like the letter G.
Okay. Well, all right. Yeah, I know what G's are. Anyway, Brack, we got to wrap this thing up, so why don't you tell us what's coming up?
Well, coming up, Christmas. So start doing your shopping, like now. Also, pay attention to holiday bundles and holiday pricing for items that are coming up. The big ones for me are going to be Xbox One and PS4.
I was going to say, what's on your list?
Yeah, hopefully those price drops help me afford those a little bit better. Coming up in movies, Hunger Games Mockingjay Part 2. Big fan of the Hunger Games book series. Definitely want to see how they portray.
Not a big fan of the ending, so I've seen what they do in the movie.
Yeah, exactly. I want to see what they do with the ending too. We're not going to give any spoilers away, but
no.
Also, I believe Pixar is doing The Good Dinosaur.
Yes.
Yeah, and that's going to be another animated movie that looks really.
That's coming
cute.
out this year yet?
Yeah, that is coming out in December. So it'll be a good movie to take the kids to for Christmas. In video games, I'm a huge Tom Clancy fan, books and video games. Tom Clancy Rainbow Six Siege is coming out. That is going to be awesome. I'm a big fan of the Ghost Recon series, so now that they're kind of moving on from that, I'm excited to see that. And then also, of course, December 17th, Star Wars. If you haven't already got your tickets, do. IMAX is already sold out.
If you haven't already gotten your tickets,
yes. And coming ahead, hopefully a Packers win. Hopefully a Packers win. We have had a depressing couple of weeks here in Wisconsin.
We have.
And it is time to change that.
Absolutely. And this is the Other Things podcast. For Brock, I am Sam. Remember, life is a contact sport.